Hello everyone, Bean from the bedroom here, your guitar junkie, Master Wah. So let me make some noise with this here fine instrument, and then I'm going to tell you about the Trem, Vega Trem, that is. See what happens. My first video that I made, they won't post it because I had that going. So yeah, I was just playing that just to try to demonstrate the arm on here, the tremolo. Yeah. So just to clean, sweet, no problems, no issues whatsoever. So this is my Schecter Van Nuys Traditional. It's a ash body, the roasted maple neck and fingerboard, extra jumbo frets. They come with Schecter's locking tuners with a tree, a Graphtec nut, and it did have the Schecter tremolo system on here, which you could only go about that much when you plugged in. Now I can keep on going. I feel like if I go any higher, I'm going to pop a string or something. Maybe if I had it tuned to D, I could pull it up and not have that fear. But yeah, it just keeps going now at this point. It's a complete floater. I made a first video on installing the whole thing. It was like 29 minutes long. And I showed me, you know, cutting off the strings, taking the old bridge out, putting the new one in, and, you know, everything else I had to do. I would pause it in segments, you know, and do this and do that. The video was like 29 minutes, but I took my time with it, and it took me probably a good hour and a half. I'm not kidding. While I had it apart, I cleaned and polished the fingerboard. 4-0 stainless steel grit, polished the frets. I didn't have any problem with the, you know, the maple neck because it doesn't have a gloss on it. And then I oiled it with my staining oil that I've shown you before. I put everything away. I had everything laid out, and I was showing what I was using for this, that, and the other thing. I used my sewing machine oil, and I oiled the nut, and I let that sit. And What else? Then I adjusted my pickups the way I wanted. I got the clean all the way around in here, you know. I removed the old knobs and I put the Viking decal on here. So if no one knows, that's good luck. That's Odin's good luck horns. Vikings didn't wear hats with horns on it, just to make that clear. I don't know why they show that all the time on TV and in the movies. And then I put the black knobs that have the lines on the top and on the side, so I could, can you see it? So I could actually see, because when I'm doing like bluesy stuff, I like it a quarter of the way off the volume for that sound. That's really why. And when I see them both facing that way, all my guitars are the same way. I know they're both 10s, you know, good to go. So yeah, I got the black instead of the chrome because it matches with the 5-way and the 2 black pickups. I was thinking about staggered tremolo, staggered tuners. They're like 70, 80 bucks. So I figured, you know what? Let me just string it up and see how it fares with the Schecter locking tuners and still with the tree on here. So I was looking at getting like the roller tree or the graphite tree, but I don't have any tuning issues with that tree the way it is. I think I may get a rolling one or maybe a graphite one just for the hell of it. Not that I need it, so I'm not really too worried about the tuners and the tree. The trem itself is, let me untether. Is right there. That is it. That's the setup. Can I do that without hitting a guitar? Can I get it? I don't think so. So that's it. As per the directions, the only directions they give you is setting up the springs with the tremolo. That is it. There was no directions on removing and installing the entire thing. Quite disappointing. That's the back. I left the plate off to show the tremolo. So you put these springs in. This one looks like it should go down some more. And I saw someone that they actually put these screws on the other side, and I think that's a good idea. This one doesn't look like it's down all the way now that I'm looking at it. But that's with the 2 springs in the back. I had to bring the action, you know, this claw almost touching the body to get it right. So you remove the old screws that are in here, and they give you either foreign or domestic set screws that go inside here. Well, the fatter ones that I had, they didn't fit. One of the 2 did not fit. The one I put in, I could almost rock it a little bit. The second one that I put in for the, you know, either side, I could wiggle it down and wiggle it out. So in my video, I showed that I used plumber's tape and wrapped around it and screwed it in, snugged it up, made sure that this plate was flush, because these have like gasket rings that sit up, and then the plate sits on top of that. So when I used the plumber's tape and screwed the two anchors in, where these screws go in to hold this plate down, then it was secure. But you know, either one did not really fit on this Schecter traditional. Now I saw, you know, Jonathan, he had a signature series, Johnston, and he had it put on. I don't know if he had an issue, but I know that the biggest screws that they sent to screw in here were these. It's like a you know, it screws in here, and it screws into here like that, and then the other screw goes in like that. I don't know how else to describe it. I put everything away because I had everything left out. It's, it feels sturdy right now, but the fact that I had to use the tape, because I wasn't about to wait and call the company and have them, oh, if you need bigger pins, send me bigger pins. I don't even know if they would do that. But I used the plumber's tape. They both went in. Of course, the one that fit better was a little snugger. The one that was really, rocking, going in and out, it's doing its job. So, yeah. The other thing is they don't tell you is to loosen these screws here to adjust the saddle. So I'm trying to bring the saddle up because you can't bring the saddle up with the two pins, You got to bring each saddle up separately. You can't bring the tremolo system up, is what I'm saying, like that. So when you start unscrewing these and trying to, make the threading go down to bring the saddle up, if these are tight, they're not going to move, and you're going to strip out, your Allen key. And there was a guy, I was going to check his video again. Out of maybe 5 videos that I've seen, this one guy that was doing the 70s, it said 70 anniversary. It was like a purple Strat. I'll try to copy his link and put it in my description. He really, I learned a lot more from this one guy. His video was like an hour long, and he was fast forwarding like through some of it. But that's when I learned to loosen these screws so I could really bring the pitch up on these saddles a lot more. They look like they're sitting like that, but I had to adjust the neck 3 times. And right now, the action is right where I want it. I had buzzing and fretting out down here. I could fret out at the 12th, and I was like, oh, that's terrible. Anything past the 12th, wasn't going to have it. So now I don't have that, because I had to loosen these screws, readjust the saddles, and I did it pretty much by eye of the contour of, it's a 14 radius neck. So I did it really by eye with the neck. I don't have one of those tools. It's a metal tool that shows you the radius of 14 to make sure it's perfect. I did it by eye because I do everything by eye. I don't need, or use tools that make it, perfect. I don't need it perfect. I want it playable and sounding good. So yeah, that's what I had to do with that. And that's how it looks with the little bit of a gap back here, but that's fine because you want something, you want room to go in there. So yeah, another thing is that when you do adjust the neck after the strings are on, you have to take these two in the middle, the third and the fourth, and you have to loosen them before you go in the top with the Allen key to adjust it so that you don't push on the strings and snap the strings. That's just a little something I've learned a long, long time ago when I first went to do that, and I popped the string right off the guitar. But I still like them up here better than down here. I just wish that this pickup was right, like close to the neck. As close as you can get it, but still, if they had one of those spindles down here, I think it would be a little bit farther away. And that's about it, really. Like I said, no instructions, no directions. Just tells you about the springs because it comes with hard, medium, light, and then light, something like that. But it tells you what springs to use with what string gauge that you play. I play 9 to 46, so I think it was the medium ones. And that's what I did with that. But yeah, it was just, and believe it or not, you cannot change all the, you can't restring this guitar in one shot. You got to do it one string at a time. If you cut all the strings off, this tremolo system's going to fall out of the guitar, Maybe not so with the springs on it now, but I wouldn't take the chance, I don't know. I remember putting it in, and it kept on, every time I'm moving it, it's falling in or falling out. But I don't remember once I attached to one spring, I I don't think it moved after that. That's up in the air. That I'll have to find out if I ever do that, you know, if I ever change the strings all at the same time. And the only time I would do that is to clean and polish the fingerboard yet again. So I'm good for that for a while now. And that's it. So, yeah. It is a great trem. I'm glad I got it. You know, it's better than the tremolo that was on here. Definitely. I like floating tremolos. It's like a Floyd Rose that's sitting flush with the body, and I can go up and down. And I think Dweezil Zapper has them on his signature guitars. So they're good enough for him. They're good enough for me. And I think it's great. I love it. I'll play it. I'll compare it to my Floyd Rose guitars, and I definitely think it's going to stick with me, and I already feel this guitar is going to be a keeper no matter what, just because the basics of the guitar is really everything I need, you know, without having a locking nut, without having the giant Floyd Rose system down here. And yeah, I think changing the strings would be a lot quicker on this guitar. And that's about it. So yeah, like I said, the video that I made on how I did everything step by step, I had my Spotify on my TV playing, and the background music was, I uploaded it 3 times, and they kept on saying that, you know, it's a copyright infringement. And I'm like, I'm not playing anything. I just got songs playing. So I guess if I had a radio playing, they, you know, sometimes I use a backing track that just has a loop on the, you know, that I've done before. And I think that's the only way to go. The fact that I had actual songs playing on the video while I'm talking and showing you, they had a big hissy fit over it, you know, only at YouTube, right? So I think I covered everything. That's all I've got to say, and I can't say no more. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and a better tomorrow. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Oh, no. It's just flashing.